Here's the brothers of Sigma, here's the fellows of Phi, and that's what sign of beaker wine means more than the money you're at. So here's the heart of the sword, and here's the pledge we set. We'll never dissever this friendship forever. Let's drink to the purple red! Sing up on three! 1, 2, 3, sing up!
Where should I be looking? Should I be looking
At him.
at him?
Yeah.
So should I be at an angle? Should I
Ask me questions, I'll answer.
So yeah, I can start off by that.
Just saying what we're doing.
Okay. Third time. Okay. 3, 2.
First game, I was very excited once I heard that it was flag football. That was kind of my favorite one when we played in the past. I was really interested to see how it was going to work because we weren't playing on the same turf that we're used to. We didn't really know who was going to show up. Sigtal was the only team that showed up that day, and it was kind of a almost like a scrimmage to kind of figure out how we were going to do this thing. Unfortunately, they showed up with like 5 players. So we had to quickly adjust, who was starting, how we were going to play things, how we were going to run plays. But it was still a good experience. I liked seeing how this team actually did play together, figuring out where our strengths were, who was a good quarterback, who was a good wide receiver. And at the end of the day, we did win that game.
So when we had our first week against Sigtal, it was really fun to just get back out there. I had a lot of energy, and I really got stretched out, even though it didn't end up really giving me much because I was pretty sore for the few days after. I know a lot of guys will say I'm overly competitive when it comes to intramural sports because it's really meant for fun, but ultimately I like going out there and competing. That's how I've always been, really, in every aspect of my life. So being able to just get back out in the field again and be able to compete against another fraternity, and it's really, really fun. And I'm glad I was able to share in that way with my brothers.
First week, we played football. It was kind of like a practice round, but we were so good. We kicked their asses, and it was so fun. I did 2 touchdowns, which is pretty good. I'm not a football player, I'm more like a soccer player. Jesse played really good. He threw a couple really good throws. Ollie did a good job. Zach did a good run. He was super competitive. So I had a fun time.
During the second week, we actually only played one team, Delta Sig.
So leading into the week, I knew it was going to be a lot more competitive of a game because Delta Sigma Phi tends to have a lot more athletic guys than most of the other fraternities.
But the next week, the second game, we stinked. It was so bad.
Quickly, we scored pretty quick. So we thought oh, we're going to be, all right. And then they scored right after, and then scored again, and scored again, and scored again, and it just quickly down spiraled into a mercy rule and us losing. So we kind of had to regroup.
I couldn't play my 100% after first quarter. I know it's not really sportsmanship things to say, but I was kind of done. Yeah, my motivation was boom, low.
And I think we really got tested in that first game to show that we needed to come up with more of a strategy, and that resulted in us not really performing that well in game 1. And obviously I was frustrated, but I tried to keep a cool head because I knew I had to lead by example, and if I start freaking out and getting all pissed off, everyone else is not going to have any fun, and we're not going to get anything really productive done.
Luckily, a lot of people, this was their first time doing anything like this, so they really didn't care if they were winning or losing. So heading into the second game, I think we were a little bit more collective as a team.
We came up with a much more sound strategy, and it was a lot more competitive a game.
Figured out what plays worked. We were never going to outthrow them, so we had to try to outrun them because they were bigger guys, and that seemed to work for a while. It was a much closer game.
We were able to put together a much more cohesive game that was actually really more competitive and a lot more fun, and we were able to get some offense going.
I think at the end of the day we still did lose, probably because we might have thrown way too many interceptions.
But being able to kind of use it as a teachable moment was really important for me. And I tried to use it, all the leadership skills that I built up to kind of give a rousing message at the end to the guys and make sure that everyone left there knowing that we had tried our asses off and there was nothing else we could have done.
But I think what's important with that is people like me, people like Juan, people like Rory, they don't usually play this type of stuff. They don't really get involved in sports, and this kind of is an outlet for that and kind of makes the experience fun for everyone, even if you do lose.
My overall experience, it was fun. Honestly, it was fun. I was super exhausted for a couple days, but being with boys, being with my friends, my brothers and all that, just reduces all this stress and anxiety from school and from my after college problems and family problems. It just poof go away. So I know we lost or we won the first week. It doesn't matter. It's all about experience. It's all about joy. It's all about sportsmanship. I had a good experience. I loved it. I love you guys so much, and I hope we get to play again.
I know I've said this a couple times, but intramurals, even though people just treat it like fun and games sometimes, I always have looked at it as a really good outlet for me because I was competitive in high school when it came to wrestling, and be able to continue that going into my college career has been really beneficial, and it's given me a competitive outlet, and it's really been able to get me closer to the guys in the chapter as well, and being able to, I hope the guys continue to do that as the years go on. People still show up to it, because honestly for me, during the first weeks of me joining SIGA, I played and it was the highlight of my week, and we won the championship my freshman year on Founders Day. It was one of the coolest experiences I've had in SIGA, and I think that kind of shows how it transcends beyond sports. And I hope that tradition gets, and that success is able to be carried over even though when I'm gone.